myself wondering, what did happen to the last 10? I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen, the other 11 give something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be One day I'll be yours. Life lessons come one in a dozen, the other 11 give something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen, the other 11 give something from nothing. Life lessons come one in a dozen, the other 11 give something from nothing. Life changes, just open the door. One thing's certain, I'll always be yours. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you.
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick. Oh boy, what a long day, man. What a day. I mean, the news is like nonstop. It feels like a marathon, and I'm ready to like take a vacation. I'm ready for a vacation. I don't know about you guys, but I am ready to go onto a beach and just lay there for a whole week. I'm gonna come back toasted. I'm gonna look like a burnt charcoal when I come back. Um, hey, wild times. And as you heard a few hours ago, Trump has announced a ceasefire between Israel and Iran that will be taking place sometime tonight. They're still operating and bombarding certain areas. But let's see if this ceasefire comes to fruition tomorrow morning. We would know more by tomorrow morning, us in the East Coast, and 8 a.m., I believe. Officially, the ceasefire will begin, and I'm hoping that I don't know. It's just weird, you know, because like I stated, it's just is it a trap? Because I'm putting everything all together. I'm playing everything in my head, and I know where the weapons are and where they have their weapons, and it's in a mountain, and it's towards the north, and they have some in the south, closer to Pakistan. Um, I believe that this is my assumption, my opinion. I'm thinking that Iran went to Russia for a meeting, and I think Putin told them, "Listen, we can't help you on this one. You know, we can't help you. And if I was you, just submit and just hold your, you know, try to hold what you have together. Um, and then we'll try to work out something in the back end to make deals to help Iran." Um, but it also played a big role with China. And I think China was also a big role player because China gets 90%, probably 80 to 90% of their fuel. They get it from the fuel and oil. They get it from Iran. So if you were to stop that commerce, you stop that strait, and you have no in and out of transportation of goods and services and all that stuff, that will decimate that region of the world. It would put them in a grand recession that it's not it won't it's not good. It's not good for them. So with the number six, everything's been six. A lot of sixes. For some reason, they want to stop the war, and if they gave them 6 hours to wrap up what they were doing on each side, they gave them 6 hours. to finish up their operations. And once they're done, that's it. Ceasefire is on. And let's see how long it'll last. Is this a grace period for restockment, like to restock your missiles and reassess what you have and what you need and put into orders and have these orders come through and restock and prepare for another one? Because Israel is one that they're not they love to start shit, but they hate to finish it. And I think Trump has to step in and be the bigger man and the man of reason. And he did what he had to do, was to take out the nuclear facilities. Mission done, mission completed, and now they're back home, resting in their house, and we're here watching the media as it unfolds. You see, the Democrats are all melting. We're melting. We're melting. All the professional protesters, the professional ones, the protests for hire. Well, they're freaking out because they had all these signs made, to bash Trump, like end the war, stop the war, save Iran, please, peace, please, peace. Don't bomb no more Iran. Oh, with their craziness. I call them like they're a joke. These people are the most scummiest people on earth, and yet they're given attention. I feel like they need to be given tickets and sent home because they're a distraction and a disruption to society. Um, I'm really hoping it will work. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I have this big ass doubt in my head. It's just, let me take off my glasses for a second because I've been having a headache again. My headaches are coming back again, and it's very vicious this time. But something doesn't seem right. You know, is this ceasefire? Is it truly going to be a trap? Is it a trap? I mean, I believe it's a trap. I believe it's let the Iranians move around and gather their shit and work with the intelligence, and they're going to be listening to the chatter because that's what they want. They want to listen to the chatter. And then what are they coordinating? What the military is doing? What is the Ayatollah going to be doing? Like, it's so much, so much, so much. This is a very important week for Iran. Um, are they going to be the ones that hold up the peace? Is Trump the man of the true man of peace? Um, this is a great case for peace by force. And what I mean by peace fight by force is we go in there with our big guns, with the big boys, with the B 2 bombers. We load them up, take them on a mission, and we'll take care of the mission. That's all we do. Go in there, blew up the place, like blew it up to like it's a miracle. Like how these weapons, how humanity is able to develop these weapons, and it was used for good to deter. It was a deter move. No innocent people. If there were people there working and so forth, well, they're not here with us anymore. But the population itself, the U.S. did not harm, did not go after. They put it this way: the U.S. didn't even go after the military. He left the military alone. He just went for the nuclear bases, and it was a success. It was very successful. My thing is that why the rush? Why the rush to peace? Kind of draws me to the Ukraine and Russia because they've been fighting there for years now. and they're not coming to no conclusions, no nothing. They keep fighting, and Trump's gonna be now like, all right, Putin, you wanted to be the mediator in this. Me, Trump. Um, I have my pants, my big boy pants on, my red tie, got my hat, and we're gonna make peace today. And I'm gonna be the one to bring it. And people were laughing at Trump. People was talking mad shit about Trump. They wanted to impeach Trump. Impeach him. They're already drawing up the articles of impeachment. AOC was drawing up articles of impeachment so that she was going to go and perform and scream and try to push her narrative. Guess what, honey? You don't even have a foot to stand on anymore, because Trump is the man of peace. He wants peace. He wants everyone to be successful. That's the thing. The Democrats, look what they're doing. They're planning for a second round of no kings on July 3rd. Who the fuck? Why are they doing this? Like, who's funding this shit? It's ridiculous, you know. And can Israel and Iran be trusted? Can they be trusted? I mean, I don't trust Israel. I don't trust Israel. I mean, yeah, they're doing what they're doing, what they have to do to protect themselves, but I don't trust them. Especially if they have nuclear weapons. If they have nuclear weapons themselves, why is there not a nuclear team on the ground inspecting these equipment and inspecting what they have? Because they're not supposed to have nuclear weapons. They keep saying, yeah, Israel has nuclear weapons, like it's all good, and they're not supposed to have it. So if I was Iran and I had this last 6 hours to do what I got to do to Israel, I would put all my missiles and everything that I have and attack the nuclear points in Israel. Take them out. Take out all the nuclear. So that way, there's an even playing field amongst them all. No nuclear weapons, you know. And I think right now, I think they're melting the gold. They're melting the gold for the Nobel Peace Prize to give to Trump. If this holds up and the peace holds up, Trump automatically will get the Nobel Peace Prize. And I had predicted that he was going to get it. I predicted he was going to get the Nobel Peace Prize. I even predicted that we're going to put his mug on Mount Rushmore. Hey, there's room. There's room. I wouldn't mind seeing Trump mug up there as part of one of the presidents that really, really cared about our country. And actually, every single day he worked so hard for this country, and yet you have people every day that bashes him and treat him like shit and disrespects him every day. And the fact that the man is working for us compared to the last administration president, where he was sleeping most of the time on us, man, we're so lucky to be alive right now. I'm telling you, we are witnessing so much. This is going to be in history books. Trump is part of the one. He's a part of it. He's not the one, but he is part of the one. And I feel like I'm a part of the one. We all should be a part of the one. But Trump, man, Trump's on a level that's biblical. That's the level Trump's on. He's a biblical man. He's making history. But why is everything happening so fast? That's my question. Why the retaliation from Iran was just a few missiles that went to Qatar, and all the missiles were pretty much intercepted. It's just, to me, it's just It's a little weird. I mean, the timing is just weird because it's the speed of it. You know, they got it resolved. Oh, Trump is trying to get it resolved within 12 days. That's another form 6-6. Six missiles, 6-6-6. A lot of sixes. Um, all of this news is giving me bad vibes, though. It's giving me bad vibes because it's exposing a lot of people. A lot of people that were Trumpers, that's the so-called Trumpers, pretty much dumped Trump and went back to their old ways of bashing Trump because of what the United States did. They were stating, "Oh, he got us in another forever war. Oh no, another war. Oh, war." I'm like, "No, man, take it easy." It was an operation. It was an operation, and it was successful. It was mission accomplished. Ethan Hunt was probably on there. We're probably gonna get a fucking another Mission Impossible shit out of this, and Tom Cruise is gonna run out of the place as it blows up. It's amazing, man. We're living in such amazing times, but it's happening, you know, and a lot of things are gonna be happening. Lots of things. We're just halfway in 2025. Let me put on my glasses so I can see. Okay, I got some videos that I have up here. I want us to watch. Just a couple. This show's not going to be long tonight. It's probably going to be like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and that's it. Just because I want to get to bed early, and I'm just really tired. I know I'm like blah blah blah, but I am. I'm tired. It's following the news and reading up on the news and it's a lot of work, man. It is, and it overwhelms you. At times, you get really overwhelmed, like really, really, really overwhelmed. And I'm so happy that this is not going to be a everyday occurrence. I hope today is the end of this, and tonight and tomorrow is the end. And now our attention focuses to Ukraine and Russia. How can we get Ukraine to like stop their shit too? Because they're the mosquitoes that are attacking the Russian bear, and the Russian bear, he's gonna scratch his back and it's gonna destroy a lot in Ukraine. And now we want to salvage Ukraine. I think this is the best thing that could happen: a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine, where the terms of the ceasefire will come, and big part of those terms will be Zelensky has to step down. They have to have a new elections in Ukraine. That's the only way the ceasefire will happen, and more of a road to peace will be without Zelensky. Zelensky is just there. He's working overtime. He canceled the election, so he's really not supposed to be president because technically he's overstaying his stay as president. But with that said, let me set this up real fast. We'll take a look at a couple of videos, and then you tell me what you think. Okay, let's go over here.
We'll wait and see what Israel and Iran say.
This is from Jason A.
The impact of the initial US strikes on Iran as well, and what sort of damage they did on those enriched uranium stockpiles, and whether or not
put on this side.
A lot of questions to be asked.
But as Keir mentioned, the Israelis still have a lot of unfinished business, especially when it comes to that uranium that nobody knows where it's gone. So, I mean, it's unclear where this is all going to be going from here. It all starts 6 hours from now, according to the president. Again, we haven't heard anything from the Israelis. It's very late here, 1:30, so we might not hear anything. But it's going to be before dawn when this ceasefire actually starts, or around dawn. So this country is going to be experiencing quite a bit of whiplash in the next couple of hours.
And we are just receiving word about a possible ceasefire between Israel and Iran.
According to the president, 24 hours after the ceasefire begins, the fighting between the two countries will end. A U.S. official and other sources say while the president reserves the right to respond, there are no active plans for the United States to retaliate at this time.
This is just out of the White House, where President Donald Trump announced a, quote, complete and total ceasefire. In a post on Truth Social, the president says the ceasefire is agreed on by Israel and Iran. The president detailed that Iran will start the ceasefire, followed by Israel in about 6 hours from now. President Trump says this will mark the end of the 12-day war. But this ceasefire comes after a day of Iranian airstrikes targeting U.S. forces in Qatar.
Iran's retaliation is underway. Iranian armed forces saying it targeted the Al Udeid air base in Qatar after the U.S. bombed 3 nuclear facilities over the weekend. U.S. officials say they had been notified of threats against U.S. forces on bases in Bahrain as well as other countries in the Middle East.
So he says the war, which was considered, is ending. Officially, Iran will start the ceasefire, and upon the 12th hour, Israel will start the ceasefire, and upon the 24th hour, an official end to the 12-day war will be saluted by the world. During each ceasefire, the other side will remain peaceful and respectful. On the assumption that everything works as it should, which it will, I'd like to congratulate both countries, Israel and Iran, on having the stamina, courage, and intelligence to end what should be called the 12-day war, he's gone on to say. This is a war that could have gone on for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel, God bless Iran, God bless the Middle East, God bless the United States of America, and God bless the world. So that points to a ceasefire, even with hour marks on it. That just in from Donald Trump.
It appeared that they were looking for an off-ramp out of this conflict. And with this development, it appears that there is now going to be this ceasefire. The big questions that we don't have is there now going to be a nuclear deal? We know that Donald Trump has said that Iran cannot enrich uranium, a key step to developing a nuclear weapon. We will have to wait and see if that is going to be negotiated and if there is going to be a deal as a result of this ceasefire. Guys.
This is what Donald Trump wanted, Miley. So interesting, though, the change of attitude and how quickly it's all calm. In that message, it said this is a war that could have gone for years and destroyed the entire Middle East, but it didn't and never will. God bless Israel. God bless Iran. God bless the Middle East. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the world. What a turnaround in tension.
Trump, man. It's Trump.
Donald Trump will certainly be attempting to frame this as a win for America politically and militarily. He said that he wanted to go in and hit those sites. He didn't want to go into a long, drawn-out war. We can assume that that's how he will be framing this. He is now trying to transition out of this conflict into what appears to be a peacemaker by saying that they have now agreed to this ceasefire. I will say we don't have that confirmation from Israel and Iran that they have also agreed to this. We haven't heard from Iran's supreme leader in a couple of days now, so it's unclear what his stance is going to be on this. We'll have to wait and see what Iran and what Israel are going to say about this apparent ceasefire. Okay, it's apparently happening in 6 hours' time.
What do you think? Can it hold?
Yeah, I don't even know how that's possible. The United States isn't even talking to Iran. You heard Secretary of State Rubio say that over the weekend. I'd like to hear the Iranians say it and the Israelis say it as well. I think it's not, frankly, in Israel's best interest to stop anything right now. We don't know whether exactly the United States did
this guy, he likes wars, so he's always going to try to push
there's a lot
the narrative.
Of unknowns there. I understand his desire to try to stop it, and he uses the word ceasefire, and only Donald Trump can put out a tweet like that. But I don't know. I'm skeptical.
Well, I mean, he goes on to say it's been fully agreed by and between Israel and Iran. And he goes on to say various levels of the ceasefire, 6 hours from now, 12
See how he
hours
shakes his
from
head?
now,
He's disappointed.
officially
You wanted
known
a
as
war
as
to break out.
12-day war, if you like. I mean,
yeah, he's got it already marketed and everything.
He's marketed, yeah. So I mean, is it possible?
Yeah, I mean, again, all cards on the table. I don't see it. It's not that I don't want to see a peaceful solution here. I mean, I don't see how Iran, for the past 47 years, in their DNA, is an enemy, a sworn enemy of the United States. And I just don't see them flipping the switch to this some kind of peace. The only peace that the Israelis are going to agree to is unlimited inspections of Iran's facilities. And, there's a lot of other things that Israel is going to be looking for from the Iranian government that frankly, they're not part of the international community. Donald Trump has called them a bully before. I don't see how that's tiger changes their stripes or spots or what, pick your adjective there. To me, I'm just floored by it. And I just hope it's going to be something of the truth, but I'm very skeptical still.
Well, I mean, let's get to the attack now on the American base in Qatar this morning. So, I mean, it's interesting in the New York Times, it's running a story at the moment that Iran actually coordinated the attacks on the American airbase with Qatari officials and gave advance notice that the attacks were coming to minimize casualties. And the officials said that Iran symbolically needed to strike back to allow all sides an exit ramp.
Yeah.
Are your thoughts on that?
Again, it's like, missile attack Kabuki theater. I'm sorry. I just don't accept the fact that somebody fires missiles at us and we're okay with it on any level. So, after Soleimani was killed in 19, they fired. It took them 5 days to come up with a solution. I understand that they have to try to save face based on this Middle Eastern, crazy way to negotiate. But again, I'm in the camp that says you fire missiles at us, no matter what, we have the right to respond. And Trump didn't. We're obviously on the escalation ladder. At least this president decided to take out that nuclear capability. I think maybe that's all that Israel really wanted to have comfort with, because that was the existential threat. Maybe that's all they'll get from this, but they want more. They definitely want regime change. I think they would go after the supreme leader if they could. So from my perspective, again, I'm just surprised that we're playing this game with these people.
So do you think there should be a response to that attack, which was thwarted this morning, even though Donald Trump seems to be, okay with it, calling it weak, but pointing to peace?
Yeah, I mean, considering that it was coordinated, I don't know what our response would be. Our response would be another act of, warfare that we just don't need to execute. Our mission was clearly only on the nuclear facilities. I mean, I'm sure we watched on satellites them lining up to shoot those missiles. If we wanted to, we could have intercepted them before they left the launch pad, similar to what Israel's been doing already inside of Iran. Again, it's missile attack Kabuki theater. And I just don't understand this as part of warfare. Given what the situation is.
Do you think their nuclear capabilities and facilities have been wiped out? Have they been obliterated, or has it just merely been set back?
Well, they've been set back, and historians are going to look back at times when the quote unquote the can gets kicked down the road. You look at U.S. history, for example, the fact that the U.S. history doesn't solve slavery when it's founded and we have a civil war. The can got kicked down the road. Well, the can got kicked down the road in 2015 with the JCPOA. Because right now, if that agreement was still in place, Iran could be fully enriching nuclear weapons and be on their way and path to a bomb. So all I did was delay. And I think now this attack clearly kicks the can down the road again. But the question is how long? The nuclear genie's out of the bottle. Everybody knows how to make a nuke. The question is, what kind of facilities do they have left to do it?
Yeah, what they could do is they could still enrich the uranium. They did move the uranium out. They might make myself big. They did move it, and they do have weapons. They're not going to use it. They're not going to use it because if they use it, it has to be something big, right? And if they hit Israel, they will hit them hard. Like never seen before. They could wipe out Israel if they truly wanted, but Israel was slick, thanks to Israel. Israel went with a preemptive attack and softened up the country, like took down a lot of their surface to surface and a lot of their weaponry. They took them off. They took them offline. They eliminated them. and they were very successful, very, very successful, to the point that they rockets they were able to shoot, towards Israel and stuff, and a lot of them got through, and they sustained damage, and people are injured, and there are a lot dead. But the system, the Iron Dome, the Patriot missile, the Davis sling, and Arrow 2, Arrow 1, Arrow 2, they did what they could. We know now it was a good test. I feel like this is more of a test than anything else. It was a really good test that went very successful. It was a test put into action, and everything worked right to the T. Even with the B-2 bombers coming in, very stealth, so stealth that the Iranians didn't even see them in the radar. Didn't even see them. They didn't even acknowledge them. They didn't even know. And they went in there and took care of business, man. They took care of business. They went deep in and blew up whatever that was down there. Blew up what was down there. And six missiles. 6 big boys. Weighing over 30,000 pounds. That's wow. And 6 of them. I would have sent 10. It goes Rick. I would have said 10. I would have sent 10. I would have put a couple of more extra holes in there, and 2 other little sections that I feel like I would have gone for and made sure a mission truly completed. I don't want to be back here again in 8-10 years, and we're doing this shit all over again, because Trump's not going to be president then. Next president should be JD Vance. It's a good learning lesson for JD. Don't overreact. Always act under control. The AOC went crazy. I don't know what's wrong with that girl, man. I feel bad because she's Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican too. And I don't know, did the same coconut that fell off of Kamala's tree hit AOC in the head? I don't know, man. AOC, she's just so weird. Everything she does is just like, she tries to be combative. She tries to be slick in how she speaks. And I catch her all the time. And I know what she's trying to project. I know the energy of what she's trying to project. And it's so pitiful. You're pitiful. Your party is not going to win for a very, very, very long time. Matter of fact, I wish if I was a Republican in your district, I would run against you, AOC. I would run against you. And I would have a field day. Just bringing up old videos of yours and all your talking points and all the yappity yap you did, and you bouncing around like you were Fraggle Rock, and having Megan Thee Stallion music in the background, and Megan dancing trying to twerk her ass, trying to create an earthquake in Atlanta. You think I forgot about that? It's a lot of crazy shit in this world, man. AOC's a weird girl. She's just weird. She took the triple weird award from My Mind Over Your Matter. And it's like the winner for the triple weird award, and we have, let's go through the contestants real fast. We have AOC, and then we also have Letitia James. Third competitor was Fannie Willis. Holy shit. And yep. And I can add a lot of people. I don't want to be here all night because I have a special area for Nancy Pelosi. I have a special area in hell for Adam Schiffner. I have a special hell for all these individuals. It's called Alcatraz, and live life like a punk bitch in behind those jail cells. I remember watching that movie. Clint Eastwood was a good actor. I used to like him. I don't like his political views. I can't stand. I think he was brainwashed before he just turned senior, and now he's pretty much not really good. Like he won't live long. Let's put it that way. But he was a good actor back in the days. Clint Eastwood. But I remember the movie Alcatraz. We had it in black and white, and then when we got the digital, I think we had it was on a laser disc. I think we got that movie on a laser disc, which was that big ass disc, and then you put it on the machine, and then you push it in, and it's like a DVD player, but it was a big ass disc. Well, we had that system. I tell you, growing up, I had a lot of things technology wise. We always had things to keep up with the times, and I was fortunate in that sense. I never will say that I came from like we had struggles, but we were never out of poverty. Like, we were out of poverty, like we just kept moving up and up and up and up, you know. And my mom, she was a hard worker. She put in a lot of time, took care of me, took care of my sister. She tried her best. Sometimes her best wasn't her greatest, but she you know, she had her struggles, and yeah, I gotta talk to her about all that. One show, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have that one show, and you're gonna get pure emotions, and I gotta hold back. You know what I mean? So I know I have my angels watching behind me at all times. They're always looking after me. I know that for sure. I had an experience. Well, I saw my like I saw a spirit, right? And I always thought that it was always so. My phone wants to agree with me, but I always felt it was like a special. I don't know. It was an entity that was there. She was dressed all in white, like a long sunflower dress. Very like kind of religious, but all white. Long hair. Long hair. But very beautiful. Her dress was so bright, and that entity was telling me that it wasn't my time to go yet. Keep fighting. She told me it the third time. After the third time, I woke up from my coma. My first coma. I had two comas in my life. Two. The first one, they overdosed me, and they had to put me in a coma. It was just fucking weird. It was so weird. But the second time was the second coma. That's a whole story. I talked about it before. I need to go find it and just have people go and watch it again. It's like, damn, Rick, but you got like fucking 670 videos. I know, I'm sorry. And y'all the needle, and that's the haystack. And I'm just like, y'all, I got to go and look too. Because I don't know where it's at. I really don't know. I don't know. But, man, I'll do a contest. Whoever finds it, give them something. It's like, because I talk about a lot of my past and so forth, and PTSD and all that shit, and how sensitive I am to energy, and how I just feel things and hear things, and I helped a lot of people back in the past, back in the day. I used to do readings and give people readings and give them energy readings, and they'll talk to me, and then I just tell them what I feel, and that's it. I don't hold it. I tell them everything how I feel, and yeah, I did that so many times. I did so many shows with my tarot cards, which I have them here. I always have my tarot next to me all the time. They're my right hand man. My tarot deck. Maybe we could do I saw the card that was underneath, so we're gonna have to look at it. And I saw it like this, and it's the Death card in reverse. Okay, the Death card in reverse. About tonight, I think this is a good card for tonight in reverse. We need the peace, man. If you see the art in this, is so wild because it's a Let me see closer. I can bring closer. But because this is like blending in the yellow, so it's harder to like. But that's the best part. You're pressing down on the floor over here. Person right here on the floor with the children, and that's like the white or and this body is probably gone. See the priest, he's praying over here. Priest, he's praying to him. I like when I do it like this. The psychic, because it's more like the psychic time, you know? The truth will happen. We'll see how things go as far as, you have to give peace a chance, man. Yeah, that's the only way. You gotta give peace a chance. You always gotta give it an opportunity. Because you never know, Life is short. You gotta live it to fulfill it. You gotta live it to your best. Do your best. Be your best. Listen to yourself. Listen to the voices in your head, like I do. It's like we're living in very unique times, very, very unique times, and I'm not for everyone. That's for sure. But let me continue here because I wanted to see Tel Aviv live. So let me see if I can get it. It's morning time over there. Let me come over here and check out Tel Aviv. Very nice. Morning time, early morning. Sun's coming up. I hope it was a good night for them. I hope with the good news last night while they were sleeping and dreaming, an agreement has been made for a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. I think this time out is like reload. Reload. Because Israel, they need more equipment, man. Now they know this is a good test. This is a great test. It was a real world test. And you see these buildings, they're still standing. And these are brand new buildings that they're building. There's a lot of buildings that they're building. And it survived. So they just need to improve the system. I think when the Golden Dome comes out, I bet my life that Israel is going to want a system like that, but in a smaller version to protect Israel. And yeah, it's just very unique. But I wanted to go to let's go watch a couple of news. Let's watch some news before I leave because I'm not going to be on too long. Let me just set everything up. Okay, I think we just got two left. Got this one and that one. Let's go with this one first. AOC claims Trump brought U.S. into war. That's what AOC said. That's how stupid she is. Okay, let's listen to this.
Explain, Jonathan Turley, George Washington University law prof and Fox News contributor. I mean, that was a tough moment for old AOC there. The ceasefire. So we got to impeach Trump. Yeah. Jonathan, let's go to the substance of this. The substance of this, because I know you have some history about ceasefire negotiations and a president involved and these kinds of things. But tell us what we should know.
Well, you have to feel for AOC. You're all dressed up for an impeachment and peace breaks out. It's sort of a Marissa Tomei moment from My Cousin Vinny. What a nightmare. And the problem is that it doesn't make for a very good impeachment, and that's why she was struggling. The other problem is that if this is impeachable, you can impeach a good number of presidents going back to Thomas Jefferson, who moved against the Barbary pirates. You would also include Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. I mean, Obama Obama in 2016 alone dropped over 26,000 bombs on countries ranging from Somalia to Syria to Afghanistan to Iraq. There was no suggestion by Democrats that they had to immediately impeach Barack Obama. The fact is that presidents have always claimed this authority to be able to commit troops and take military action. And yes, in my view, this is an act of war, but the way that courts and Congress have interpreted it is not something that requires a declaration. And keep in mind, we've only declared 11 wars in our history. We've had over 125 military operations, some going on for years without such a declaration, including Vietnam and Korea.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good idea for Congress to have to weigh in on war, especially protracted conflicts and boots on the ground. Right. But this obviously was, her point was ridiculous from the beginning. Now, we had another big win for President Trump today. I mean, he has lots of wins to talk about today. But this was the Supreme Court, at least temporarily, clearing the way for the White House to speed up these deportations and send illegals to countries where they have no previous ties. How important is this, Jonathan, tonight?
This is enormously important. It gives a great number of options now to the Trump administration. It should have the effect of speeding up deportations. This Boston judge actually said that he believed the Supreme Court and Congress were on his side. Well, obviously he was wrong about one of those by 6-3, because that's the result today. And the court said you can't send people to a country other than their home country. That is a major stumbling block for the administration. They have a lot of people to deport, but they also don't have cooperative countries often on the other side. This gives them options, and you can bet they're going to use it.
Yeah, and I think the Trump administration does not have the time to give the process that the left thinks every illegal alien is due. Most of them have already been given their own due process. But Jonathan, this.
Wow. AOC, she's crazy. AOC, she's crazy. I'm not a fan of hers at all.
This is Australian time, Australian Eastern time. Iran and Israel would complete final missions. That is ominous. Then by 8 o'clock tonight, the ceasefire to officially begin for 12 hours. Following that, it would mean by 8 a.m. tomorrow, war would be considered over if the ceasefire holds. So there are a lot of caveats in that. It is convoluted, and we are waiting on official confirmation from both Iran and Israel on what the terms are. JD Vance was also on Fox News America. He was pretty positive about the move.
When I left the White House, I thought that we might be able to get it across the finish line before this broadcast, and it looks like the president has been able to do that. I mean, look, he's been working the phones constantly, frankly, before the 12-day war started, but certainly over the past 12 days. The president's been extremely clear about America's national objective here. It is to create a world where Iran cannot build a nuclear weapon.
We've yet to receive official confirmation, of course, on whether Israel or indeed Iran has accepted the terms of this ceasefire. Meantime, a fresh round of blasts have been heard across Tehran. CNN reporter Fred Pleitgen gave this update a short time ago.
The Iranians were shooting very intensely at something that was in the skies. We also tonight, again, Anderson, heard planes flying over the location that we're in, and then some pretty loud explosions to a location south of us. So that certainly seemed to indicate that there were Israeli jets in the air and that they were making several passes at whatever they were trying to bomb here in the fairly central part of the city. The Israelis, of course, had issued evacuation orders for 2 districts here in Tehran, and that was actually also exactly where we saw that tracer fire into the air coming from as well, where we heard those explosions also. And you alluded to the fact that it has already been a pretty intense day. There was one massive airstrike directly in the vicinity of where we are right now that really shook the buildings that we're in. We had to then take cover. When we emerged from our cover, the entire sky of the Iranian capital to the west of us was in thick black smoke. So that clearly a major strike that took place. Now, as far as that ceasefire is concerned, Earlier, a senior Iranian official said that the Iranians had not gotten any sort of proposal about a ceasefire. They were not expecting one, they also said, and they were in fact saying that they were going to intensify their retaliatory strikes, of course, first and foremost, meaning against the Israelis for some of the airstrikes that we've been seeing here. We've not seen the situation quiet down since then, but certainly as of right now, there's no indication that the Iranians are expecting that a ceasefire is going to happen soon. But one thing that we certainly are seeing is that in this night, the Israelis seem to be ramping up their aerial campaign. The Iranians obviously ramping up their defense that they're trying to mount of that aerial campaign. And of course, you had those strikes against the LUD base, which the Iranians earlier today, this was on state media, but this was also official channels as well. They called it robust and successful. And one of the things that was a key line that the Iranians were putting out is that they were saying that on that base, they fired exactly as many missiles there as the Americans dropped on Iranian nuclear installations. Of course, that could indicate that that was a tit-for-tat response.
Yeah, so Fred Pleitgen, one of the only Western journalists in Tehran, so extraordinary access there and an extraordinary view of what is going on inside of Iran. Let's go to Tel Aviv now. Jonathan Conricus joins us. He's a former IDF spokesperson. I believe you're still there. Jonathan, it's very early there. I really appreciate it. What is the latest information you have from the ground there in Israel? Has Benjamin Netanyahu agreed to the terms of the ceasefire as Trump has laid them out?
So good morning to you. As far as I'm aware, no, that has not yet happened. I think that the Israeli cabinet is deliberating exactly that topic as we're speaking, or they may have just concluded deliberating. And this is now an interesting time. That's politically, but militarily, I'll say a few things before that. We've had a relatively quiet night. The last time that we were in bomb shelters was several hours ago. There were 4 UAVs that were fired from Iran or dispatched from Iran that were intercepted outside of Israeli airspace. So Israelis have had an abnormally quiet night, which of course is always welcome. But at the political level, we're now at an interesting time because this may be the first time that we will see Israeli interests diverge from US political directives. I think Israel believes and feels that there is still a lot of work that needs to be done against the IRGC, against their ballistic missiles, and against their ability to continue to fund and arm terror organizations. But now the U.S. is saying that there's a ceasefire. So we'll see how this is, what the middle ground can be for Israel.
Okay, so what is the objective here? What is the wish list if the US was to acquiesce fully to it? Is it regime change? Is it the killing of the Ayatollah? What else is on that list?
Yeah, I think, regime change has been spoken about a lot. It was never an official Israeli goal, and Israel hasn't really done things to put it into effect directly. But I think it is something of a hope that Israel will be able to live without an enemy country, with a regime that appears to be fixated and just consumed by hatred towards Israel and really hell-bent on Israel's destruction. So it is a big deal here. Yes, the nuclear infrastructure and the weapons program was number one and paramount, but I think Israel wants to achieve long-term change for the better. Sure. There's many things to say about so-called regime change. I think it's evident and very clear that it can only happen by the Iranian people. Maybe the regime can be weakened sufficiently in order for the Iranian people to do what's good for them in a way that they decide, not that anybody from the outside will decide. And maybe now, if there's a ceasefire, revolutions, they usually don't happen during war. They usually happen after war, when things settle down a bit, and then it becomes more dangerous for autocratic regimes to stay in power.
We're seeing new explosions reported in Tehran. This is less than 4 hours after this ceasefire is set to begin. I'm not entirely sure how you phase in such a ceasefire. Obviously, Donald Trump has given both sides, or wanted to appear to give both sides, some breathing room to finish the mission, whatever that is. If these explosions are being seen in Tehran at the moment, let's assume that it is Israel still striking those military targets. After those 3 nuclear sites were hit, what would it be hitting now?
Oh, there's an abundance of military targets that are valuable and good to strike from an Israeli perspective in Tehran. It could be IRGC command centers, it could be weapons facilities, it could be personnel, senior leadership or otherwise. I don't think that Israel is trying to eliminate Khamenei, but let's wait for the dust to settle and see. Maybe we'll be surprised. I don't think that that is what we're seeing. But, you know, the regime still has many, many military assets, and that I assume is what Israel is striking. But I think we'll be entering a stage now, and this is where it really is interesting. How will this the ceasefire be implemented on the ground, and what will the conditions be for Israel to stick to it? Will we see something similar to the situation in Lebanon, where there's a ceasefire, but Israel continues to defend itself and implement what it needs to do in order to limit Hezbollah? Will we do the same thing with Iran? Of course, the distances are bigger and the stakes are higher. But this is, you know, you blink and you miss half a century of important events over the last week in the Middle East.
Yeah, and not even just the last week, the last few hours, Jonathan. I've got to say, you don't seem at all that positive that there will be a ceasefire that will hold.
I think, you know, judging by how coordinated Israel and the US have been since and before June 13, I think that if this is what President Trump wants, and obviously he wants it, then I think that is what's going to happen, at least first on. And I don't think that Israel will be perceived as someone who defies the direct wishes of the US president, especially not after the US strike on the nuclear facilities in Iran. So I think it'll get an honest support from Israel. I don't know how well the Iranians will support it. And I think that this is still unfinished business. There is still unfinished business between Israel and Iran. This is a big, life-changing, once-in-a-lifetime moment for the state of Israel against the Islamic Republic. And I think it's far from over.
Well, Jonathan, how can you reconcile this with what Donald Trump's just said in the last couple of hours, though? Because you know what the situation here is. For Trump personally, and in a domestic political sense, he doesn't want to get embroiled in another war in the Middle East. He wants this strike on these 3 nuclear facilities to be a one and done. He does not want to get back involved in this. And what you're saying to us this morning is that Benjamin Netanyahu has shown no signs of this being over for Israel. So how does that work? If Trump got involved and destroyed these nuclear facilities at the behest of Israel, but the quid pro quo was we're in and we're out, I mean, is Netanyahu now in a tight spot if Trump's asked him to agree to the ceasefire terms, but you're saying the job's not done?
Yeah, the job isn't done, and Israel, I think, needs to continue to operate and find ways to continue to weaken the IRGC, to continue to diminish their ability to fire missiles at Israel, and to continue to provide weapons to terror organizations that are making life miserable for Israelis. That needs to happen, and I think it will continue. I think the dilemma here for the Israeli government and the prime minister is, of course, not to defy what the US president, who is undoubtedly a very strong and real friend of the state of Israel, not to defy what he says as a goal. And he is now set on having a ceasefire. So there'll be a tightrope to walk, and I think Israel will manage that. I think the relations between Washington and Jerusalem are excellent, even though many people around the world wish and hope and talk as if they aren't, but they really are excellent. And I think that Israel will be, very respectful of the president, mindful of the tremendous action that the US took under his direct guidance. But I think, having said that, when we fast forward the coming weeks or months, this is such a big event, and exposing the Islamic Republic, the regime, for how weak, corrupt, and incapable of defending themselves as they are. This isn't over, and I think that Israel will try to leverage this positively for the future. Maybe at the end, achieving a significant weakening of the regime, that's possible, but at least to begin with, take out their missiles and make sure that they don't have that strategic capacity to fire ballistic missiles at Israel.
Jonathan Conricus, live there in Tel Aviv for us, and it is approaching 4 a.m. We thank you, as always, for your time, especially this morning. Looking fresh, as always, as well. We'll see you soon.
All right. Well, that's going to be the last for the shows. I want to be on an hour, 11 minutes and 11 seconds. Well, that's a lot of 111s. Holy shit. I saw that. I was like 11111 when I said that. I was like going to wrap it up. I'm very tired. It's just really achy. My body's really achy. Really, really, really achy. But it's okay. I hope when I wake up in the morning, the ceasefire is working and nothing's being shot at one another, and that way everyone can assess their damage. Pretty sure there's going to be a lot of damage in Iran. But then we're going to try to figure out when they're going to get together, because they do need to get together and come to some kind of truce. And it's a unique time, man. Like if we didn't have Jesus, Trump could have been Jesus, man. He could have been the baby Jesus, the reincarnation. Like they try to kill him, and multiple times they try to kill him, and he's trying to bring peace by force. Like he doesn't want to fight. It's not his fight. He don't want to fight, but these reactors, he knows he needs to take them out. This uranium sites, he knows he has to take them out. So he's not gonna sit around like Obama did and how others did before him that kind of like were afraid of Iran. Trump's like, fuck this shit. We're taking this, and we'll hit you with 6. I would have sent 10, maybe 12, just to make it maybe send 13 to make it a baker's dozen. How about that? I think that would have been even better. It's like, Rick, you would have hit us with so much money. I was like, no, this bill goes to Israel. I'm sorry. We're not taking that bill. Are y'all crazy? If I'm president, shit. Israel, you guys, how are y'all doing with your precious metals? Because you're going to have to mine for the U.S. and you're going to have to repay us for all those missiles that we did your job for you, that you wanted us to do. And you guys are praising Trump and loving him like a god, which is weird. But he's just he's like a second coming. I don't know. He's a very unique soul, that's for sure. Very unique. The fact that people hate him and there's people that really like him and people that hate him. Who was the last time you ever heard of that happening? Jesus? Oh shit. No way. They were hitting him with stones and sticks and stones, and they like covered his hands and his feet to the fucking cross and paraded him across town. Oh no. Man, poor guy. No wonder people just believe in him and he came back to life. I would have been so pissed off that I would have came back to life too. I was like, I'm hunting every single one of you motherfuckers. I'm here in spirit and I'm gonna fucking wreck your lives. Like oh no. Jesus is on the loose. No, but it's very hard decisions, and the way that Trump took care of it, it was just like in and out. It's not like they went in there and destroyed all these places and hit military. Oh, I'm yawning. Oh my god, that's the sign to go to bed. But he didn't hit like military bases. He didn't hit any military anything. Like he didn't hit any civilians. He just hit the nuclear sites. All of them. So it was a good run. But I think like Iran was really underestimating the United States. I think they underestimated them. Like they were trying to call Trump bluff. Yo, motherfucker, Trump owned the casino before. This motherfucker's a dead face. Like that man's the art of the deal for a fucking reason. He has a fucking book written about it too. My goodness. If that book doesn't go selling, I'm gonna see if I go find me that book. I'm gonna go to my local bookstore and get me the art of the deal. Just such a unique individual, man. Patient. Ooh, patient, man. He gives you those. Oh my goodness. And then you dared him. You talk shit about the U.S. and then you thought that we were just gonna just let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Hell no, you got 6 of these bunker buster bombs. And they did the job, man. Man, those are fucking unique weapons, man. Okay, what mind thinks of this shit? What type of human designs a weapon like that? That's the creepy part, right? It's the work behind the scenes into making it is what's the uniqueness of these bombs. And they're making more because now this is ladies and gentlemen, this has been a test, a live test during an operation. Not even a war. They weren't going there trying to declare war because they dropped these weapons. Yeah, you got like 30 Tomahawk missiles that came from submarines and attacked the other 2 facilities. That's great, But the bunker buster bombs, man, it would have been so beautiful to watch, as it happens. Like that video, I'm pretty sure Trump has watched it so many times that he probably has it playing on Air Force One. He probably has it playing while he goes to sleep. It's like on a teleprompter on the facing the top, and it's showing how precise these weapons are and how like the guidance of these weapons and how deep they get, man. How deep they just go through like butter, like they just slide on in and from within. That's so fucking cool. I really would like to know the seismic measure on it because they did have an earthquake that they rated at a 5.2. Now I would like to know if that same seismic picked up on any of this activity and how strong was it. I don't know. I have questions. That's all. I just have questions. Like Trump, just hire me, man. Hire me. I'll work for you, man. Just take care of my cats. You know, I'll work. I'll work for you. Only a couple hours a day, cause I got a fucking broken neck and my back hurts and I'm already choking myself. As you can see, I'm trying to like, cause my neck really hurts. So I'm holding my head up because my head is too fucking heavy. I got I got too much brains. Brains. There's not no Return of the Living Dead 2. Brains. Like, oh goodness gracious. Um yeah. This world is very interesting. It's just made it more interesting and um that ISIS bomber that in Syria over in Damascus killed, well, we were reporting last night, we had it at 13. It went all the way up to 22. It went to 22. And that's the final count, 22. And let me make sure. Just make sure. I'm tired. I am. I'm like choking myself. I'm like, that metal hurts. Like there's a lot of pressure right there, and it really hurts my neck. My phone doesn't even want to work. I'm talking a lot about what's going on in the world. The next thing is gonna be that Diddy stuff. Yeah, I think the Diddy stuff is just a weirdo, man. I gotta talk about his shit. He's just weird. He might get like not so much time, you know? And the problem is they went in a direction like it was so weird the direction that they took it because they went sexual. They went with the fluffy bumping and other creatures came along and all started fluffy bumping, and I'm trying to keep it PG because fucking YouTube is so sensitive. So we had to go with the fluffy bumpings, and they fluffy bumped, and they had ones that they had to give money to, and then they fluffy bumped, and then they did some stuff, and then they fluffy bumped a lot more, different times, different days throughout the year, on call all the time, fluffy bumping. And I think they took it to that sector of it. They're not bringing up anything about the children. I haven't heard anything about the minors that were there and participating in these fluffy bumpings events. They're not talking about the celebrities who were involved in this fluffy bumping events. A lot of them. A lot of them. And why are they just keeping it to Diddy is just a horny guy? I'll be waiting. Just Diddy, I don't know. Is he a Fed? Yeah, most likely. Most likely. He's paid to do what he has to do to be him. You know? He has a lot of information. He's just like Epstein. He knows where the bodies are buried. He knows the Clintons. He knows Epstein. He knows Epstein. Look, I said it twice. I'm going to say it 3 times. He knows Epstein. And he was good, and got along with a lot of people. We're living in unique times. Very, very, very unique times. I'm just saying, live your life to the fullest. I'm very tired. I'm not what I was looking for. I'm not even gonna look for it. This is crazy. Like everything that I read is just like weird. But I want to know all the people, all the celebrities who are involved in those fluffy bumping events. You know, a lot of fluffy bumping events that took place, and we should be able to see some evidence of the fluffy bumping. And the celebrities that don't even know that they're on film, that they're trying to keep secret, like allegedly Justin, yeah, allegedly, right? Bieber, allegedly. Okay, you can play that with everybody else. You can't play with me, buddy. I see everything. I know what you done. What like the drugs you've done. Boy, I can read you from a mile away. Easy. Real easy. That boy's been through a lot. And I'm talking about a lot of the bumping and the fluffy bumping and licky, the kitty, and the doggy too. Yeah. No, thank you. Just weird. But none of that's gonna come out. You know, it's gonna be like, that's why Diddy's like, yeah, just close the case. Yeah, just let's finish up. I'm done. Like, just weird. Like they just only went for that. Like there's so much else. Like I feel like this case is so incomplete. It's such an incomplete case. Like I feel like it's fabricated. Like the case, I think it's just like it got infiltrated. I think the jurors and so forth, I think they got infiltrated and they got in, and you know they're gonna try to probably be lenient with Mr. Combs, and he's gonna get out like probably pretty early. That would suck. That would suck because you know he should be in there deeper. The case should have really turned dark because they have a lot of minors that were part of this, and the fact that nobody's even bringing it up blows my mind. Blows my mind. But tomorrow I'm gonna go to the library. Actually, no, I'm gonna go to Barnes and Noble. I'm gonna see if I could get the book Part of the Deal by Trump. I'm actually, before I go to bed, see, I'm looking at the news here, and they just caught Hailey Berry. I guess that's um, Justin Bieber's wife. And then the title, it says, "Is it too late now for my Justin to say I'm sorry?" Ditches wedding ring in New York City. Is it too late now for Justin to say sorry? Oh, she was seen, like, like, if you look at the pictures, it's so obvious that it was like a photo shoot. It was all staged. It's staged. This is Hollywood. You know what I mean? They stage their relationships. They put it in the public. You know why? It sells. It makes money. That's all it is. It's propaganda. You know what I mean? That boy, he's been fluffed and bumped so many times, allegedly. But he's been flipped. He's been bumped a lot. Mr. Justin, lots, lot of times. But yeah, the world is weird. Like the hot air balloon that caught on fire in Brazil. That was crazy. That was crazy. Let me see if I can go back on it. A hot air balloon trip in Brazil turned into a fatal tragedy after it caught fire and plummeted from the sky Saturday, and it's all on video. A stunning clip shows the vibrant balloon quickly being incinerated by the deadly blaze, detaching the company basket to send it into a downward free fall from the sky. The governor of Santa was it Qatar confirms on X that 21 people were on 21 people were on board when the ride went wrong, and 13 survived the flight. Look at the number 13. 13. So that means 8 died and 13 survived. Hot air balloon deaths are rare, with a 2024 report only 30 were recorded globally between 2008 and 2022. So 13 survived and 8 people died. Remember the numbers. 13, you got 6. It's gonna be like one of those fucking Jim Carrey number movies, like the other one he used to do with the number, and the other one, what's the other one? The Knowing, with what's his name? Nicolas Cage. It's a good movie too. With the little girl, she's like scribbling the numbers, and she put it all in a time capsule, and they put it in the ground, and they had to open it at a certain time, and they had a celebration to pull out the the whatever they put in there in the capsule. So they took it out and started giving the notes on to the kids, and the little boy gets a paper, and it has all these numbers. It's a good movie. You gotta watch it. But I'm out of here. It's already past my bedtime, and it's probably yours too. So have a good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. Let's see and hope that the truce can continue. You know, we need peace, and definitely don't want to be. I don't know. I just think it's fast. It's going so fast, you know, and it's like, is it really going to be peace, or is it just like re-up time? You know, it's time to re-up. That's what I'm feeling. I feel like it's time to re-up. It's time to re-up and you know, round like another round two. You know, right now they're in their corners and they're assessing what they have and what they you know, what's destroyed, what's still standing. You know, it's just a different now. I don't know how the Ayatollah. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know if that ceasefire is gonna last long. I'm just saying Trump is trying his hardest. You could tell Trump is trying his hardest. He really wants it. He knows he's gonna be disappointed by the ceasefire. Um, it's just, you know, it's just a lot going on there, man. Those battles been going on for before us, man. Way before us. I'm telling you, when they were throwing sticks and stones at each other, they started throwing sticks and stones at each other. That's how it all started. And now they're just upgraded to ballistic hypersonic missiles. It's okay. But, you know, America came through and hit them with the bunker busters, 6 of them, and accomplished and obliterated the fucking site, like destroyed. Like, wow. And the fact that it left like a hole, you can see when it went through. That's even like even more badass. That's even more badass. I'm the United States. That's why the world was like, you know, because Iran just get hit. You know, they gotta talk tough. They gotta talk tough. But the way they got hit and the way that destroyed under the ground, I think that gave the whole world like the shock and awe. But we didn't feel it here because the media was like, you know, talking, and then they started talking shit, and but that I think that was the shock and awe. Those bombers going in and delivering the payload and executing the mission and headed back home, and you know, mission accomplished. That's a good feeling, and it only took 6 of those huge, beautiful, you know, bunker busters, 30,000 pounds each bomb. Like they had to refuel because they had so much weight, so the motors were working harder to keep the air up and to keep the plane flying fast, and they had to refuel it 3 times. And the last one, they filled it up and they were ready for battle. That was the battlefield. So they went like right before they got in through Israel. They fueled up because they crossed through Israel, and they went through some parts of, and they went through like to Iraq, and then went through Iraq and went right into Iran, and like 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 Batman and shit. It comes out of nowhere. The fucking bombers came out of nowhere, just destroyed they got the mission done. You know, they completed the mission, they ran the run. Like I said, I would have bombed it like 10, 12 bunker bombs just to make sure, just really destroy the fucker, so there's no opportunity for them to do that again. Yeah, man, you set them back, but now we have to keep eyes on them. It's always got to be a satellite and watching them and watch what they're doing, and have it constantly take pictures and see who's going there, because they could zoom in from space. Like you could pull like I could pull this car like this. Like I could go like this from space, and the depth card again. Um, from space, they could see the whole details. Like I go like this and zoom in. Well, in space, they could zoom in, real zoom in, and they can tell you all the details on this card from space by holding it up like this. They could see it. They could zoom in, and they could see it. They could read as little as a stamp, like the stamps that you send your mail. Well, before, I don't know, people now do things digitally and pay their bills digitally, but once upon a time, you had to pay your bills. You used to put the stamp, and you lick the stamp and you put it in the corner. Well, that stamp, you could like reach your arm out, and from space, they could tell you and detail you the picture on the stamp. Yep. I was like, and I believe it. And I believe it. The U.S. is very slick. They got a lot of high tech stuff. And you'd be amazed. And I know the missiles hit Iran, and that's like piercing their heart. And they knew that it was up, They hit the cash cow, fuck it, that was the cash cow. That was bringing the big money, but not anymore. Now, are they going to have a new government? I don't know, because the old man is still alive. I call him Palpatine. Palpatine is still alive. So we'll see. Every day's a new day. I feel like something's big's going to happen, because like every day is a new day, man, and we're getting like every day it's always something. It's always something, man. So we'll see tonight. Have a good dream. In the morning, wherever you are, drinking coffee, enjoy the show. It's not that long. It's less than 2 hours. And the ones at night, get ready for bed. And we'll do this again tomorrow. If something breaks out overnight and tomorrow morning, then I'll come on. If nothing's gone crazy and the world is still rotating, we're good. We're good. Tomorrow here is supposed to be 100 and I think they said 102, 103. I hope it gets to 103. That'll be pretty cool. 103 degrees tomorrow. So it's the first 100-degree weather, and I'm looking for it. I went out there today. It was 95. It felt like Florida with the humidity. I was like, oh man, this feels like Florida. Ugh. Like Florida is only good if you go to the beach. If you live there, you have to deal with the humidity and the heat. And then the thunderstorms. Thunderstorms drive me crazy. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you on the flip side. I'll try to be on here tomorrow. Okay? All right, peace.